My impression of you.
Well, I can't see very well, Dan. That's not very nice.
Why'd you put your glasses on?
Because I don't wear glasses.
Why'd you get some glasses?
I don't believe in it.
Jesus Christ.
Haven't we talked about this before? My firm belief that glasses weaken your eyes scientifically.
I think you told me this once.
I'm sure I've told this before too. Everyone yells at me about it because it's been scientifically proven to be false. But here's the thing, Dan. When I put on glasses and then I take them off, everything's blurry for like a full minute. My eyes get lazy. So if I always have glasses on, they're never going to try hard and then they're never going to get better. So I don't wear glasses.
I could call you a lot of names right now, Tony, but I don't have to because anyone that just heard you say those things, they're all thinking them.
Hey, watch him! With Dan and Tony! Hey, watch him! With Dan and Tony! It's Hey, watch him, yeah!
Welcome to Hate Watching with Dan and Tony. That's Tony. He's pumping his Tony irons.
Yeah, all my muscles.
All his muscle.
Muscle, just one. It's one muscle, but it encompasses a lot. So
right across here.
Yeah.
On this show, we watch old movies and then we comment on them. And this week,
hold on, Dan. That's the shortest synopsis of our show you have ever done in 113 episodes. That's the shortest you've ever done it.
Trying to clean up the show, streamline.
I like
streamline.
We're trimming fat, and here I am adding it back.
You gotta maybe get one of those editors that all the pauses and all whenever I say every time I say it just cuts that out.
Sure, yeah. Every time I say we'll cut out all my likes because that's a lot. Sorry, guys.
It'd be funny to do that, to edit out all the things you always say over and over again.
To actually edit a podcast, that would be funny. You're right.
So this week I let Tony pick a movie because he was good.
You let me? As if we don't have a structure where we each alternate every week? No, Dan let me, out of the good graces that he has. He let me pick one.
You're welcome.
What a sweet, you're too good to me, Dan. That's what it is.
That's what people say. People are saying.
People are talking.
So Tony, tell us about the movie you picked.
I picked a great movie that I've wanted to see for basically since week 2 of this podcast. I found this thing, and then I ordered a DVD and it didn't show up. So I got very nervous, and then I had to buy it again. And then the second time it did show up, and then I've just been waiting for the perfect moment.
You've been waiting like 2 years for this.
I've been waiting I've had this DVD for a very long time. It just never felt right. But when we watched Avatar, which was a CGI extravaganza, I was like, you know what? We need some practical effects. We need to go back to the good old days where we used shitty animatronics and puppets and really just hammer this home. So I chose a movie called Theodore Rex, which is difficult to find anywhere. I don't know why, because this thing, I assume it made a lot of money. I didn't do any homework, but I'm assuming it ran up the charts, millions of dollars opening weekend. What?
You didn't do your homework on this one at all?
Have I ever done homework?
Oh, yeah, you did. You actually did a little on Avatar. You actually did some on Avatar.
I hated Avatar enough that I was like, I need to come with some real data.
Okay, this movie, Whoopi Goldberg on the telephone said, yes, I will do this movie. And then Whoopi Goldberg thought about it, and then she decided, no, I do not want to do this movie. So the producers sued her for $20 or $30 million.
Whoa, wait, what?
Yes. This movie has a great little backstory. It's a glorious backstory.
Oh my God. Strap in, folks.
They sue her. She then settles to do the movie for an additional $2 million. She was going to get $5 million, so now they're giving her $7 million.
She got $7 million for this movie?
She got $7 million for this movie. They made this movie, and then the studio people looked at it, and they were like, what the fuck is this steaming pile of shit? Direct to video. $33.9 million they spent on it. Went direct to video. This is the most expensive direct to video movie ever. I mean, who knows now? But
Well, sure. Yeah.
direct to video, they just cut their losses and took their tax write off and all that other stuff.
I mean, listen, so here's my thing. That's the right move, right? You're not going to want to release this in theaters. It's not going to go well. Directed TV, very smart. Very smart. Why can't they just do that with Batgirl? That's what I want to know. HBO Max should just be dropping it on HBO Max, right? Like, don't do theaters, just drop it on HBO Max. I don't get it.
Well, the whole idea is they have to destroy it to get the big tax write-off that they want. And it's a big tax write-off for that. It's like
really big.
It's like
you're saying you think the tax write-off is bigger for that than Theodore Rex, because this movie is good.
I don't know. So that's how Whoopi Goldberg landed in this movie.
First of all, good for her though. I mean, she says no, and they're like, "All right, we'll give you more money." So they were going to sue her, and instead of suing her, they just gave her more money.
Yeah.
That's an incredible switch. I mean, she definitely didn't try in this movie.
In a movie that's really terrible, she might be the worst part of it.
I think 100%. I don't think it's even that close. She bothered me through the whole thing. I was like, especially now that I know she's getting $7 million just for showing up to this movie, I'm a little upset.
Yeah, you're like,
I would have done this movie for $500. Tell you that right now.
And you'd have done a better job than she did.
I would have had a blast. I would have had so much fun.
So this movie, 1995, hour and 31 minutes. Let me give you the quick timeline. Ed Wood, 1994. Nightmare Before Christmas, 1993. Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, 1994. The movie Aladdin, 1992, and the Dinosaurs TV show ran from 1991 to 1994. So this movie
it had wrapped up its entire run before this movie even came out?
Before it came out, yes, I think so.
Not before they probably made it, but before it came out. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But that show went 4 seasons. So
that show's good.
As I remember it, I didn't watch it, but when you turn it on, you didn't go like, "Oh, these people should be shot for this."
No, they did a great job. Also, Dan, I think you should watch it. I think you'd really enjoy how it ends.
Oh, it just was the honeymooners or something, right? It was just like something like that.
But it ends with basically them knowing they're going to go extinct, and it's fucking brilliant. It's incredible. Best series finale of all time.
Wow. So this one won a thing. So yes. So this movie wants to be all those other movies I just mentioned.
Also, did you look up when Speed came out? Because I'm going to need to know that factoid. I'll look it up while
I did
we're
not
talking.
look up Speed. That's one I wouldn't have thought to look up.
Huh. I know. I'll let you know why when we get there.
Okay, good.
All right.
Yeah, so this movie just doesn't know it, like your classic movie like this has no idea what its tone is. Is it for kids? Is it for adults? Is it a comedy? Is it a mystery? And I think right in the 90s, we had the beginning of what we have now, which is like every movie is a comedy unless it's really not a comedy, right? And
everything adds a comedic element, no matter what genre it is now, it feels. It's stupid.
I mean, unless it's like really, super serious.
Yeah.
And a movie like this does not know how to do any of the things. And so it's just a pile of confusion.
In their defense, they did hire a comedian. I'm putting a lot of quotes on the word comedian, by the way, but they hired a comedian at the time.
Who'd they hire?
Whoopi Goldberg.
Oh, she's the comedian.
Yeah.
Whoopi Goldberg plays the straight man in this. Right?
Sure, but but what Whoopi used to be good at is like zingers. Like she was always like, a smart aleck. She doesn't do that in this movie at all.
Well, that's because she's the straight guy.
But even as the straight guy, she should be making comments about the craziness around her, and she does not.
The straight guy doesn't comment. The straight guy goes, right? Isn't that the idea? Is the straight guy motivates the action, and then the comedic guy is like, yeah, what are you doing? You know,
Here's
it's like Jackie Chan versus Chris Tucker in the Rush Hour movies, right?
Jackie Chan's very funny in those movies.
Does he make a lot of? Are
He
his
makes
jokes?
jokes. He makes jokes.
But they're self-effacing jokes.
Sure. This
They're
is
not,
the way I look at it. This in this type of movie, this is like a buddy cop movie. Let's take a look at Lethal Weapon. Murtaugh comments all the time.
He's
a commenter.
That's Danny Glover's guy.
Danny Glover. Sorry, yeah, Danny Glover.
Danny Glover's
character. Comments on Mel's character, and that's what makes them endearing.
Yeah, but he's like, oh no, here goes this again. You know, it's I don't know.
I'm too old for this shit. You should at least say his real line.
I'm too old for this shit. You know, he's like burnout, and he's just like, and
but that's what she should be doing. She's partnered with a dinosaur, Dan. She should have thoughts on that. She should feel a way about it. She doesn't have any opinions, as far as I can tell, about dinosaurs or her job.
Well, what her comment almost always is no, stop, no,
which is not a comment. Just shutting it down. I'm just shutting down the fun. Add in on the fun, comment about how it's weird or fun or like, oh, my day's getting weirder. You know what I mean? I don't know.
No, I know exactly what you mean. She just doesn't do that, or it's not there for her, and she's not interested, and so she just is there to like tell the dinosaur, no dinosaur.
She's definitely not interested.
Stop being who you are, because you're a dinosaur. No dinosaur, no.
Because then at the end of the movie, when she calls him her partner, it means nothing to me because she hasn't grown. She hasn't gone through an acceptance period. Like there's nothing. It's nothing at all.
Well, I mean, you know, spoiler at the end of the movie, she gets like knocked out and then he goes and does everything by himself to fix the thing, right?
Yeah, boy, I can't wait to talk about that scene, by the way. What the fuck?
It's like you got your star and you're like, not going to be actually involved in the solution of the problem.
100%. That was a rewrite after they saw like the dailies and Whoopi was giving them nothing. They're like, let's just take her out of the finale, guys. I can't watch this for another 20 minutes.
So we start off with, of course, you know, the role, and then because we have to have text, because you have to have text. Once upon a time in the future. I
love it.
I liked it. I like that.
I laughed too, but I laughed even harder on the next line, which is
not the next line, the first bullet point.
Oh, is that?
They were like bullet points of the plot. Yeah, they literally were bullet. I watched another review of this and they pointed that out. So I remembered that they're literally bullet points about what the plot of the movie is.
About the plot of the movie I'm going to watch,
which is ostensibly a comedy mystery. They tell us tell us the answer to the mystery in the original roll-up.
Is this the pitch for the movie, and they just kind of reworked it for the beginning? It's like, oh, well, it's these two people are leaving the hideout, they get killed, and then I watch all of it? I don't understand.
Basically, okay, what we get is there's two people escape from the bad guy's lair and are going to go and tell the police what's going on.
Right, but we only see one of them, right? Am I crazy?
No, one of them's the human being on the roller skates. The other one's the dinosaur whose head they blow up.
Oh, got it. Is it weird that I didn't realize that the human and the dinosaur would work at the same place?
We, as an audience, are told that there are two things. We don't even understand that.
Yeah, I was confused. But then I was excited when the guy was roller skating in front of a truck, and I was like, just go off the street. Just go to the sidewalk. Just roller skate in any direction other than straight forward, and you're going to be fine.
We're going to get there. So now we have that. We know. So the bad guy's plot is he's genetically re-engineered all the animals. He's going to start a new ice age to kill everybody off. And then when we come out of the ice age, he's going to open up all the animals and we're going to have a world again.
And they even call it an arc, which makes me laugh really hard. Like they're just straight up taking Noah and just making it with an ice age instead of a flood. Good for you guys. It's ballsy.
So our
ballsy. Okay. I think that's faux pas now.
You can't say ballsy anymore?
I don't know. I think is that sexist? You know what? Guys, call me out on social media because I won't listen to it anyhow.
You're terrible. So we're in this black and white universe. There's this evil guy with long, stringy hair. Then this colorful butterfly flies over to a dinosaur, and then kabloom.
Dan, wait, don't fast forward through this real quickly. Why is it all in black and white except for the butterfly?
Because it's a dream.
Is this a dream?
Yeah.
Because this
actually is happening, but it's Teddy's dream.
You're shitting me. You're telling me right now that the first scene of this movie is happening in real time and also simultaneously in our main character's dream. And we're watching the dream version and not the real version? This is insanity. I already quit.
Because we're supposed to we're supposed to think, oh, this is a dream, but then Teddy believes it's true, and it is true.
Oof, boy, this is deeper than I thought that we were going because the movie,
saying,
not us, the movie.
Because all the dinosaurs share a collective consciousness memory.
See, and I have a lot of questions about this because this is the setup of the dino race in this is very confusing to me.
Yeah.
Why are they connected?
Because
and why we don't really use that.
Nope.
And then, so what kind of connection is it? You know what I mean? Like, is it just a spider tingle? Or like, are they kind of one thing, like a hive mind kind of?
He says that whenever like a dino dies, he feels it or knows it.
Which leads to a lot of questions about like relationships for me. Like, what else are they feeling? Is it just death?
You mean so if like two dinos are getting it on, they're feeling from the other position? Is that what
that's exactly what I'm thinking? Of
course, that's exactly what you're thinking.
Because here's the thing: the main lady, her husband dies, right? That's the guy. That's the dino in the beginning. I'm pretty sure.
Who's the main lady?
The sexy dino lady.
Oh yeah. The club lady.
So the club. Yeah. So her husband is the guy that dies. Yeah.
I think they're actually just roommates.
They're just roommates?
I think they actually say that in the movie because they don't want to make it so that she has a dead husband so that it's easier for her to
the whole time. And it was weird because I was like, she's moving on very quickly. But then I also was like, does he already know what it's like to make love with her? Because another dino was making love with her and he's got a hive mind and he's already knows what to do. It felt like cheating to me. I don't know.
They have this weird setup where he's asking about and they're like, is that your, she's like, no, it's my roommate, but we have the same last name or something, but we're not.
Something weird like that. And I just thought they were married. I don't know.
And for some reason they want, it has to, it can't be like associated with her because then she'll actually have to show some grief, I think.
Which she does not.
So,
sorry. Okay, we'll go back to the beginning. I did not get that this was a dream. All right, continue.
Yes. So, boom. And it's a murder. And he wakes up and he's in he gets a call. There's been a murder at the carnival.
He makes the call. Oh, he calls work. And he's like, hey, I had a weird dream. Is something weird happening? And they're like, yep, there's been a murder. And they say it so nonchalantly.
The murder's at the carnival graveyard.
Carnival graveyard, yep.
They say that two or three times, and we just don't understand what that means.
Well, here's the thing is I actually was relieved. This felt like the Dan Goodsell explain moment to me, because if you remember the black and white thing, there is weird shit everywhere on this set. And I wrote down a bunch of things. I was like, I don't understand where they are or what's happening. Because there's like little ghosts in trees. There was like all these colorful because it's black and white. There's all these things. And I was just like, what am I supposed to be looking at here? And then later they're like, it's a carnival graveyard. And I was like, okay. I don't know why that has any bearing on the story other than I feel like that's the only location they could get. They were just like, oh, shit, we forgot to shoot the beginning. Just go to the corner, shoot it on that.
Oh, it's because they want to be Tim Burton. That's why it's at the carnival graveyard. That's the only
They're
reason.
doing a terrible job at being Tim Burton.
Oh, yeah.
I'll tell them that to their face.
Yeah, it's terrible. Oh, yeah, the dude that wrote this
and directed
what happened
to him?
he went and founded this special effects company called Luma, Luma. Like
Okay.
he and like some other guy, maybe a couple of
Yeah.
guys.
Right. Good job.
Huge business. They did the Eternals. They did Shang-Chi.
Okay. Well, that
So
was
this guy
a
did
very
not.
different thing there. When you said Eternals, I was like, "Uh-oh, that movie's terrible." But then Shang-Chi is great.
The effects in the Eternals were great.
I don't care. The movie's The movie's terrible. Everything's terrible. Get out of here. Poor Kit Harington.
Poor kid. Okay, his apartment is 1,000 feet by 1,000 feet. It's on a soundstage because you can see a soundstage floor.
Yeah.
He has a dog. He has a machine that shoots him macadamia cookies as he's walking out the door. Macadamia!
That is a whole thing that we need to talk. I need you to explain to me the joke, the running joke of him with cookies. Because they hit it so many times. And for the first time ever, I was like, guys, give it up. Give it up. This is not working. I don't understand why you're doing it.
There's this whole sort of subplot that he no longer eats meat. And so instead he eats flowers and cookies.
Yep.
I don't know.
Why?
I don't know.
That didn't explain. You just reiterated what the movie said. I need you to explain it, Dan, because I don't understand the joke. He's got a cookie shooter that shoots cookies across. We only see that one time.
Macadamia.
Right in the beginning. Macadamia.
That's like one of my favorite parts of the movie.
And then every time he hears cookies, he gets so, oh, cookies, oh, cookies, I love cookies. Why? I don't get it, man.
He's supposed to be Jim Carrey. Who knows?
He not.
He works in the public relations department, but he dreams of being a detective.
Yeah, those fields aren't related.
Well, no, but I mean, it's a little bit of tokenism. They let the dinosaur be in the police department, but they only let him be in public relations. They don't want him to be an investigator.
Oh, I see. Okay. So you're saying he did go through the training for the police academy, and then they just stuck him on a desk job? Okay.
Yeah, he would have to go. Yeah, because you have to go through the police academy. That would have been.
That's what I thought, but I didn't get that from the movie. But I'm sure you're right. You're right.
He gets in this weird car, and they do this whole thing where he has to open a bonus door to store his tail.
I thought that was pretty funny. I don't know.
I mean, it's just so weird. You're just like, you only have so much time in a movie, and you're going to spend all this time making this weird car and talking about the tail storage.
Well, I'll tell you what,
it is.
I remember that better than I remember a lot of the rest of the movie. So kudos to whoever made that prop.
So now we get to let's switch over. Well, let's meet our other character. There's a trash truck attacking a rollerblader. And then Whoopi Goldberg and her partner are on this roof, and they're like, "Oh, we got to get them." And then a battle ensues, and she gets dragged, and the dude jumps on the front of the thing, and there's a fight, and then eventually, one guy gets killed, and then most of the guys run away. And this is another thing about the tone is they all talk like they're in cartoons.
Yes, they do.
And it's so incredibly annoying.
Yeah, but guess who doesn't? Whoopi Goldberg. So it's cool. She doesn't talk like that at all.
No, it's terrible. So they have a clone. So they have this dead clone, and that's going to be one of their clues.
What?
The dead person is a clone.
The rollerblader?
Yeah. So
I thought he worked at the plant.
Yeah, so that's a clue. He's a clue.
Oh, so that's when she goes to the guy in the room and there's the dead body.
The second.
Okay.
Yeah. The second autopsy.
I'm being 100% honest with you, and I did not follow the story of this movie at all.
There's multiple autopsies. This guy's going to go to the second autopsy. This is not the first autopsy. This is the second autopsy. We have two bodies now. So both these guys are dead, the dinosaur and the dude. And so we're going to have to go to two different autopsies to find out more about them, to lead us the breadcrumbs of the plot.
And so I don't want to jump ahead too much, so keep me in check here. But so
Yeah.
Whoopi goes to that morgue date, right, with the human.
Later.
So it's later. I'll save it then. I have
save that.
questions. I have questions. All right.
So the whole thing that doesn't make any sense is why Whoopi was there. You know, why they were on a rooftop to watch this thing happen. There's no motivating action, right?
No, not at all. Also, why is her partner's plan to jump on the windshield? That's not a good plan. I'm going to throw that out there for you guys. That's not a good plan. He almost gets shot immediately.
Yeah, it's a terrible plan. Okay, so now Teddy goes to where the dead Dino is, sees the dead Dino. Fine. He's like, okay, I'm going to solve this case. But
he's not a detective. Why is he even at the crime scene? He wouldn't be allowed into the crime scene if he was a desk jockey.
He's public relations. So yeah, he would go there and he would liaison with the press and things like that. Yeah, sure.
That's not what he was doing, Dan. He was at the dead body. He was talking to another detective, and she's like, well, do you have any clues for me? And he's like, nope, not right now. Because he's not a detective, lady. Why are you asking him if he has any clues?
Tony's angry.
Stupid. It's stupid.
So then one of the Zap heads, who's like the weird guys, is Bud Cort from Harold and Maude, and he's so terrible. It's so sad.
Who? Which
Bud
guy?
Cort. The one Zap head that talks of those secondary bad guys.
Oh, like he's like the lead. He was
crazy hair in the eye.
Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah.
Like
that's super weird. I didn't understand his thing at all.
Nope. No,
it wasn't very good. I'll tell you that.
So now we see Whoopi Goldberg after her mission. She's like walking home. There's like a dog on the ground. She picks up the dog. She goes to this diner where there's this little kid. She puts down the dog. Then she talks to this kid, and she's got some sort of relationship, and he's got something going on that she promises to go to. And then
Which
she's
she
like,
clearly does not.
What do you mean?
She doesn't go to it, does she? I don't remember her going to it.
Yeah, that's the skate park thing.
Oh, I guess I didn't understand what his thing was then, because I was very confused. Okay.
I had no idea what his thing was, and only when she went to a thing and he was there did I realize.
Honestly, this movie...
You really did not follow this movie.
I didn't understand this movie one bit. I feel like an idiot right now because this is the dumbest movie ever written in the history of the world, and I don't understand a lick of it.
It does hold to... I mean... You know, it is A, B, C, D. It follows,
not on my paper.
Dots,
it's not, Dan. I'll tell you that right now. My paper is confused as shit. Oh, God.
She says to the kid, take this dog up and put it in my apartment, right?
So the kid's got a key to her apartment for sure. Does he live there?
Do we ever? No, he has like a dad that he lives with. And
okay.
And one of the things I watched about this, they thought that she was trying to hook up maybe with the dad, and that's why she was like being with the kid. But I don't know.
That's
we never
a great
see the
subplot.
Dad.
Is the dad also a robot? Because I got questions about this.
Do we ever see that dog again during this movie, or see her?
I do not believe so. No, I don't believe she ever goes home. But I also didn't think a lot of things happen, so I could be wrong.
So Tony, now's our chance to get really misogynistic.
Oh, I'm really good at these.
Talk about Whoopi Goldberg and her outfit.
No, I don't want to. I specifically didn't write anything down because every time she turns around, I was like, oh no, it's so unflattering. It's so, because she's not an unattractive person, right? I mean, she's not like, I don't look at her and I'm like, oh boy, you're not good looking at all. But they chose an outfit that doesn't fit right. And it makes her look like shapes. You know what I mean?
It's the opposite of flattering her. And the director shoots her from behind many
just like so many times. And I'm like, this is the least attractive butt I've ever seen. And I see my own in the mirror all the time, and I know it's not great. But I wear things that shape it properly, This did not.
It's just so rude that, because, in a movie, you shoot people so that they look good. You try to, that was one of the things. You have
teams of people that are there to make these people look better than they really are.
And they just make her look like a middle-aged woman, like an average middle-aged woman, which is fine, but
I love average middle-aged women, Dan. That's my cup of tea. This is not that. I'll tell you that right now. This is not average. This is way below average. It's like intentionally insulting. Maybe this is revenge. Maybe this is revenge for her not wanting to do the movie. They're like, okay, well, you're going to do it for $2 million extra, and you're going to wear this. That's how that went.
and she's a robot.
I mean, is she? I don't fucking get that.
That's the other big problem with this movie is she's supposedly playing like a cyborg with enhancements, full
Yeah.
battle warrior, and she's terrible at everything, and she cannot fight, and the fight scenes, when there are fight scenes, aren't fight scenes. They're just like people
really
sort
bad.
of standing there, and it's so embarrassing for her. She should have
Well, it's
not fought
embarrassing
with
for
them.
everyone.
She should have fought over the script is what she should have been fighting for.
She, instead of getting $2 extra million, she should have been like, okay, but I'm going to rewrite this bitch.
Yeah.
I'm going to hire a team of people, and we're going to rewrite this so it's an actual movie.
Because there kind of is a movie here. It's like...
Based on the trailer that we saw, or I don't know if you watched it, that I saw, I was excited for this movie. I thought this was going to be a movie that I really enjoyed and thought it was ridiculous but fun. I didn't find it to be that.
We're going to get... Okay, so that... We're not going to talk about Whoopi being a robot because it's too terrible. So
I'll have questions later, believe me.
The other thing is, there was like that diner scene that was like just on a backlot of one of the studios, and to make it seem like it was the future, they painted the dumpsters, left the dumpsters there, painted them yellow.
Because we don't have yellow dumpsters, guys. So this is the future.
Oh, so
I didn't notice that.
Teddy goes to something, which is actually a dinner at the Natural History Museum, because he wants to go see the commissioner.
Oh, okay. That's the Natural History Museum. I was like, whose house has all these weird animals in it?
Yes, so it's the Natural History Museum. He goes in there, and this is when we begin the wacky tail hijinks, where his tail smacks
we gotta talk about
ass.
So here's my problem, Dan. There are times in this movie where he uses his tail with pinpoint precision.
Yep.
He even shows off that he can hit 3 hockey pucks into a net with his special superpowered tail. But then 80% of the movie, it's fucking chaos. It's hitting everything. The guy can't walk straight. I don't understand. You can't have both in the same movie. You can't.
The thing I liked in the trailer is it made like these things all wacky and funny. And in this thing, when he comes and he slaps the one woman on the ass, it's just like sort of embarrassing.
Well, it's inappropriate, that's for sure.
So he walks up to the commissioner, tail comes around, taps the commissioner on the shoulder to get his attention.
Gently. So gently as well. He's got great control over that tail, everybody.
And what does it do when it does that, Tony?
Boing, boing!
It makes a little boing, boing. Doing, doing!
Why?
Well, what was it? That poor Brendan Fraser movie with the sound boing. They put all the sound effects.
Was that the Mountaineer guy?
The monkey one, Monkey Bone.
Oh, that was Monkey Bone. I don't remember. They're all bad. I don't remember.
So he talks to the commish, and he's all like, "You gotta let me do the thing." And the one other bonus bad guy's like, "Oh yeah, let him do it because one bad guy knows that if he makes him go and do it, he'll suck." And
which also the commissioner would know that as well, just for the record.
But the commissioner, poor Richard Roundtree, he plays hot and cold. He plays smart. He plays dumb. He plays complicit. He plays not complicit. Yeah. That's the thing about these kind of movies is you get whiplash because every different scene, the person's playing a different character because there's no consistency.
Yeah, it's weird. And sometimes I think they're different characters then, which confuses me because I was like, well, that guy wouldn't do that. And it's all bad. One thing I will say that I enjoy is that they repeatedly call this a dinocide.
Oh, I hated that.
Oh, you hated it? I thought that was fun. I was like, oh, that's homicide, dinocide. It's cute. I liked it.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Well, would you have liked it if they did more puns as opposed to just one pun and then just left
That's
it there?
I'm glad there was only one pun. You're correct. You are correct.
Okay,
I
see, I
think
was going for the other way. I would like more puns, please. As many Dino puns as you can put in the movie, I'm on board.
Dino dollars, everything should have been I mean, okay, if everything, they don't take real money here at the Dinosaur Club. They only take Dino bucks. And she's
See,
like,
yeah,
Dino bucks? What are those?
what?
The other thing
What are those?
that's amazing about this movie is Whoopi Goldberg's character, like, can't even comprehend that there's a dinosaur working with her.
Right. So I have huge questions about the dinos in this movie.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it for a little bit. I don't understand what they are, right? So this one dude just makes dinosaurs.
Yeah.
But they all share a collective, so they must all come from like the same genome. Are they all related?
No. I mean,
And how are they in society? Are they shunned in society? Are they welcomed? Like, it feels like some people are. I don't understand it.
Some of the police are super happy with them. We have a scene in a little while where they show up and everyone like boos him or yells at him or something, calls him an idiot.
Yeah. Yep. But I don't know why, because I just don't understand. I don't know. I don't get it. They don't seem like second-class citizens, which I feel like they should, just based on like how, I don't know.
And there's the whole sort of, racial overtones, undertones. She sort of treats him like he's a second class, like he's not human or not, up to her standards, which is just like so strange to make an African American woman do that to the dinosaur character. You're just like,
yeah, I don't understand the relationship just in general of dinosaurs in the world.
So they're outside now, and the commissioner's like, meet your new partner, Coltrane. And this guy walks up with a shotgun, and then Whoopi Goldberg's character walks up next to him and then bumps him off.
Elbows him out of the way. Yeah.
And you're just like, we already know she's Coltrane. We know that guy's not Coltrane.
We've met her. We already spent time with her as a character. When this guy walks up, I'm going, well, who the fuck is this then? And then she elbows him all the way. I was like, well, okay, but I still don't know who that was.
And he just disappears
don't get the joke.
For no reason.
Yep.
Well, the whole joke is that you're supposed to be like, oh, here comes a badass. And then, what should happen is we shouldn't know who he's going to get partnered with.
Correct.
And this badass is coming. He's like, yeah, the badass. Yeah. And then like Whoopi Goldberg walks out and she's like, got shades on and smoking a cigar and, is like 5 feet tall or something, like something that she should be in like old age makeup and be like 97 years old. And we're like, oh shit, 97. What's going to happen?
They blow 2 reveals like this in this movie. Do you know what the second one was? Do you remember it?
I don't. I mean, I might remember it, but I don't.
The second one is the vehicle. They walk outside later in the movie, and there's a van there, and they're like, "Oh, our van's back together." And then it pulls away. It's like, "Why is it pulling away? Why is it pulling away?" And instead of showing us the vehicle behind it, we stay on Teddy, and he just goes, "No, not that! What are they doing?" We don't know the vehicle. We've never seen the vehicle that he's looking at. He's just yelling at nothing, and I was like, "What the fuck is happening?" This doesn't make any sense. You guys, you have to show the van pull away, revealing the shitty vehicle, and then show his reaction. He's reacting to nothing as far as I know. And then they show a cool garbage truck, and I was like, actually, that's way better than the van. So they blew it twice.
More importantly, they give him a garbage truck that the whole back is literally filled with garbage.
Yeah.
Which, wouldn't somebody empty out the garbage?
I mean, you would think so, but that's I don't know. This is bad stuff, guys.
Okay, so boom, boom, boom. So Whoopi comes up there, and she's like, "Why would I want to work with the dinosaur? Why?" And then the commissioner says something that I found the weirdest line in the movie. "I'll double your commission."
So they get paid on commission if they solve a murder?
No. There's nothing else in this movie like that, but it's like, wait, what's happening? It's commission?
First of all, this is an interesting movie to me. Is if police work became like almost bounty work where you get paid per solve. I actually like that. That's an interesting idea. That's not what this movie's about, but that would be an interesting movie. Because the kind of people that you would get in that business are probably a little shady.
Yeah. So who knows?
That's funny. Good catch.
The bad guys have a scene where the bad guy says, "Go and follow them, but don't do anything." Whatever.
Yeah, that's exciting stuff, guys. Thanks.
Then Teddy picks her up in his car, and we have the wacky get in the car scene.
Uh-oh. I don't even remember this. What happens?
She gets in, and then he's like, "Let me adjust your seat." It goes up, and it hits her head against the ceiling.
Yeah. Which is so dumb. Dan loved it. You loved this scene. This is your favorite scene of the whole movie. You idiot.
No, it's not my favorite scene. I'll get to that later.
Oh, good.
So they're like, "We got nothing. We got no clues." And he's like, "Okay, let's go." And he drives off. And then immediately drives back into frame and runs into a sign at the Natural History Museum. Did you think they had left and gone someplace, or did you think they just pulled 3 feet forward?
No. It seems like they've gone somewhere different, and that's where they're parking. That's what I thought. I was like, oh, we're at the next destination. We're not.
We are.
Wait, we are?
Yeah, we are.
I thought, so now I'm even more confused because when they park and they run into it, I was like, oh, we're at the next destination. But then I thought we cut to the same place we were just at. Well, Fuck, Dan.
The thing is that...
Oh, God, I feel like my head's going to explode.
I think they paid for the Natural History Museum, so I think they used it for multiple things
just
in
like
this
different
movie.
Sets. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But they couldn't take like this car out on the street and drive it around because it's...
That's
like,
a given. That's
so they just sort of drive off frame and then into frame, even though it's supposed to be in a different. It's so weird.
It's all weird.
So they
Did
go
we
to
talk about the hug yet? I feel like I missed something.
Oh, when Teddy gets the thing, he hugs the two guys.
He hugs
commissioner.
the two guys at the same time, but he's got short T-Rex arms. Can you explain that to me, Dan?
He doesn't have short T-Rex arms.
He sure does. He can't even reach his mouth, which is another problem I have with all the cookies that he fucking gets. The way that they've designed this thing, he can't reach his mouth. He can't do it. He would have to eat off of something, like almost like a bird. He can't reach. It's so long, he can't reach the mouth, and yet they continually put food into his fucking hand. Drives me insane.
So they walk. They just it's the middle of the night. They just walk into the museum.
Yeah.
Nobody at the door. Anybody that wants
security.
to just walk into the museum. It's dark. They walk through it. Somehow they know where they're going. They end up, and there's a woman, and she's like barely notices them getting there, and she gets up and she's like, "I'm the head dinosaurologist,"
which isn't what they're called, right? Am I crazy?
They're typically called paleontologists, which is like the study of bones.
Right. That's because they're already dead.
But I'm sure there's a word for someone that studies dinosaurs.
I think you just said it.
Well, no.
Dinocologist. Wait, what'd you say?
Dinosaurologist.
Dinosaurologist.
Oh, there's your second pun, Tony.
Gynecologist.
Checks what, the butts of female dinosaurs?
Yeah, you got to lift the tail. Never mind.
Oh, so she's like all like, they show up and they're like, what do you got? And she's like, no, I didn't really look at him. And so Teddy's like, let me take charge of this. And then he does this weird sniffing, and then he pulls something out of the nose of the dinosaur and says, here's the clue.
Yeah. Oh, listen, I got nothing. I got no words.
And then dinosaurs don't have fingerprints; they have tail prints. So they tail print his tail, and that sends them to the next destination, which is to go see Mollysaurus Rex,
finally,
who's a singer at the Extinct Species Club. They go to the club.
Wait, is that really what the club's called?
Yes, Extinct Species Club.
That's good, guys.
And this is where we start calling the humans soft skins, and I think the dinos are scale skins or something.
Oh, I feel like I missed the rebuttal. Okay.
Yeah, they have something about scales, and then
Okay.
humans are soft skins. So we get there, and they sit at the table, and then there's this one dinosaur that is like so into Whoopi, and
Yeah.
it's so
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Yeah, the tongue. Yeah. I think it's funny. So
It's funny, but it's really weird.
it's weird to me because it doesn't go anywhere, and it's not like it happens one more time. I feel like that dinosaur comes back. I think.
Maybe.
Or you think it's a different dinosaur later that leers at her? Like, so I have questions about dino-human relations.
Yeah.
Are they fucking?
No.
Let's just figure it out.
I don't think so.
Then why are they so creepy with her? Is it because she's a robot? Are dino robots fucking? Somebody's fucking, and I don't understand the rules of this world. Because this guy is clearly wants her, or he wants to eat her, I guess. Maybe it's that.
So then they fight. Whoopi gets up and leaves, and then has to walk through everybody. And she's like, so many tails, because there's all these tails in the way.
And she's like lifting. First of all, she like lifts them out of her way, physically moving these dinos. I don't think that would be allowed.
No.
That's like walking through a crowd and just like pushing people in the face to get them away from you. It seemed very rude to me.
So Molly Rex comes out and she does a performance of I'm No Angel, which is the Mae West song from the 30s.
Okay, that explains why. I mean, you were like 15 then, but I was not born yet, so.
Do you know who that is? You know who that is?
I don't.
Tony?
I have no idea who that is. No. Do you know who that is? You don't know.
Of course I know who Mae West is. Mae West
never heard of her.
Was one of the old burlesque stars, and she made a very classic movie with W.C. Fields. You know who W.C. Fields is, right?
Sure.
Do you know who W.C. Fields is?
Heard the name. Couldn't pinpoint it.
He was like this alcoholic comedian, juggler.
Sure, who wasn't?
Very funny. Huge early movie star. But, throw it in the old Mae West, not really what the kids are looking for these days.
Hey, it's very topical, you guys. It's good. It's really good. Also, this is the future, right? So I don't know how far into the future. We don't really know. We don't have like an exact time frame. But we don't know what it is now. And you think another 50 years in the future that people still going to know? I don't know. Seems like a bad choice.
Did you think that she was doing a striptease?
I still think she is.
Okay.
You can tell me she's not. But not only is she doing it there, but then later when they're in the dressing room, she definitely gets like almost naked and puts on sexy lingerie. So.
So Whoopi leaves the scene. I don't know what that means. There's so much flirting. And then somebody eats flowers, and it's so weird. And
you're jumping over the whole them going into her dressing room, which is something that we need to talk about because it's very strange.
Room, she takes off her clothes, and he's like,
he is fully erect. I don't whatever the version of a dino boner,
whatever
a dino
erection is.
It's a dino erection. He's got it. I don't know what it is, but he starts doing this dance, like he's moving back and forth. He's so fucking excited to talk to her. Oh, like this guy is rip roaring to go. I think it might be his tail because his tail starts going, but it's just it's one of the weirdest scenes I think I've ever seen. I felt a little uncomfortable about it. Cause she seriously, she goes, it's the classic like femme fatale, and she goes behind this curtain thing and she just drops her knickers, and I was like, what is happening? This is a kid's movie.
So they get outside and Whoopi's there, and Whoopi has the greatest line of the movie. You're so glando.
Yeah, I didn't get what that meant. Like, I understand context clues. I get it. I don't understand what that means. I don't know.
Your glands are acting up,
So she's saying what I'm saying, but in a weirder way.
So Teddy gets attacked while driving by the Zap Heads, and his car gets destroyed. Then Coltrane goes to another morgue to see where the clone is, and then we find out that the clone is from Kane, the bad guy. And so Kane worked there. This dude worked for Kane. So everything's pointing back towards New Eden and Kane.
Not only did I not find any of that out, I thought that Whoopi was a bad guy. So here's Dan. You should see my notes, man. They're not there. My notes. It would if you read these notes, you would think I watched a completely different film. I did not get this at all. So here's what happened in my head when she walks into this room. So she walks in and she's like angry, right? She's blah, blah, blah. And then the scientist asks her something about her reprogramming.
Yeah.
And she does something snarky and he's like, oh, that it kept you evil. And I was like, oh, she's evil. And then I got confused about the rest of the scene. I thought she worked for Eden. I got so fucking turned around right now. Oh, God damn it. This movie fucked me up, man. I'm so backwards. Oh, we should shoot this one over again because I sound like an idiot today.
So I wrote, Katie shows up in a van casually. So Katie shows up. She's got a van. He doesn't have a gun. He doesn't believe in violence.
Yeah. What?
The bad guy says, because the bad guys attacked Teddy's car. He's like, shouldn't have done that. So he's like, I'm going to put you in the blender if you don't do that. If you don't obey me, we don't know what the blender is. We never see the blender, and no one ever suffers the blender.
I have lots of thoughts on what the blender is, though.
Yeah, I know. We can all figure it out. I wrote here, now is going to be the time we're supposed to talk about Whoopi's outfit, but we already did that.
You were just too excited to get to Whoopi's outfit. Had to get out of the way early.
Yeah. We go to police headquarters. They need a new vehicle, and Teddy gets like weirdly aggressive.
Yes, he does that a couple of times. He's got anger problems, and we don't deal with it in the movie, but there's a couple of times where he like snaps and is about to literally eat people, and nobody talks about it.
And it's not at times when you expect him to. And then
it's all the little things that you're like, wait, what's happening? And he's like, I'm gonna tear this place apart.
And he gets aggressive, and then the cops all laugh at him.
Yes. Well, but he doesn't believe in violence, so he's not gonna eat him, right?
So then we go see the commissioner. Whoopi throws him under the bus, says it's all his fault.
Yep.
Then the commissioner,
she's evil.
She is evil.
See, Dan, my theory works much better than yours in this scene because she's working for the bad guy.
That would work. So then Summers, the guy who set up them as partners, the commissioner tells her that it was Summers' idea, and so she puts two and two together. Now we're going to get to one of Tony's favorite scenes is Teddy's like, now that I'm a detective, I need my detective clothes. And so he goes into the magic clothes room. Talk about the magic clothes room, Tony, and how enjoyable it was to see them cycle through random outfits where Teddy does little bits with all these different outfits for no knowable reason because Teddy does not do bits.
He doesn't do bits at all through the whole movie. You know what he does do? Just a side tangent, and then we'll talk about this clothes machine. He talks to himself too much, Dan.
Oh, really?
It bothered me. He narrates what he's doing, and I think it's because it's a guy like watching it, doing lines. You know what I mean?
Here I am. Now I'm going to move my legs.
Yeah. And it's like, I know. I'm watching you do it, guy. There's a robot dinosaur. It's doing it.
Gotta put on my dinosaur shoes now.
100%. The entire intro scene when he's getting ready, he narrates the whole thing, and I was like, what is happening? Sorry. Clothes machine. This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. So it's a magic beam of some sort that just replaces your clothes and puts new clothes on. Forgetting the fact that couldn't work and is a ridiculous technology, and you should be fired for thinking of it. The joke, you think that they're jokes, I think. They're going for jokes, right?
The first one is like Opera Viking.
Yeah, which isn't funny. And then here's my biggest problem with it. And I don't know if you notice this as well. Teddy starts in the character and then goes to his normal voice, which means that he's doing that on purpose.
Oh, yeah.
To me, that means he's looking at the outfit and he's like, I'll put on an accent for you. Let's go to the next outfit, please. It's so stupid. There's one of them where he's talking a foreign language, I'm pretty sure, and he just switches back to his English voice at some point. It's like, this is a bad one. It's the most inconsistent, stupid scene I've ever seen. None of them are funny. The outfits are all terrible. A couple of them offensive, I'm pretty sure. And it's just a mess. It's just an absolute fucking mess.
What outfit does he end up on as a detective?
Like a gangster. It's like, yeah, he's like wearing like a shirt with a hoodie, and I'm pretty sure he has a ring on.
He's wearing blue jeans.
Yeah, blue jeans.
He's wearing a knit sweater.
Oh, is it a knit sweater?
It's a knit sweater, which is kind of purples, kind of purple, with a few other light colors.
I don't remember this at all.
And a red hoodie.
I remember the red hoodie. That's all I remember. This is
what a detective is going to wear.
Yeah, well, because he's street smarts. You know what I mean? So he's got to be one of the people. I don't know. Look, here's the problem: is that he's partners with a detective, right? Isn't Whoopi a detective?
Not really.
Well, then what is she other than a robot? What is her role in the police department?
They had like a weird name for what she is. She's like like a murderer. She's not really a detective. No, she's more like
murderer.
She's more like SWAT. She's more like how SWAT works. Where she like murders people.
I don't understand this movie at all. Then why are they partners? You know what I mean? If she's not a cop, he is not a cop. This movie's. I don't understand it. I'm breaking down. Okay. I quit the podcast.
So they get the garbage truck, and he makes the comment, "It smells like cheese and something and boogers."
Boogers. Yeah. Yep.
So then they drive.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. No, just go. Just fucking go.
They drive the trash truck to like this place that's in the middle of a junkyard, and they have this one matte shot with all these cars piled up, which I was like, that's kind of cool. And then we never see that again.
Never see it again.
And then we do a whole thing with the kid from the diner, and Teddy hits the balls, and they sort of play roller hockey.
So I remember this scene, Dan. I did not remember that this is the event that he was talking about in the beginning. Because this is where he shows off that he can slap 3 slap shots with his tail into one net, which takes a lot of control.
And so he's like making jokes, and Whoopi's character's response to that, telling him to stop making jokes.
Yeah, stop having fun with my kid friends. I don't know.
There's no reason for him to stop making jokes.
Because the kids love it. The kids are having a great time. They're high-fiving and stuff. I don't know.
Then the bad guys, in a very classic Battlefield Earth, they figured out what they can use against to control them. What's their favorite food is the bad guys were watching, and so they know they can use these kids. So we know they're going to kidnap the kids to use this weapon.
Which makes more sense than food to starving people. Idiots.
So then they go to New Eden, and he's like, this is where I grew up. And then they go to the weird office. Do you want to say anything about that office, Tony?
I don't remember the office. What should I say about it?
This big, weird blue office, and then there's like a metal rhinoceros, and there's just like 3 random things in this gigantic, weird office.
This means nothing to me. I didn't watch this movie at all.
Then we meet the lady in red, who is Kane's personal physician.
Yeah. I thought she was lying. You think that's real? I'm so confused.
I have no idea. This lady she was in Ed Wood. She was Drusilla on Buffy.
Why don't I remember that? Okay. Yeah.
Her name is Victoria. I think it's Victoria Landau. She is Martin Landau's daughter. Martin Landau and Barbara Bain's daughter. She's super beautiful.
She's stunning. Yeah, she's stunning. She's stunning. Yeah.
So not well used. So you kind of kept expecting her to be like the smarts behind the throne. Guy? Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
You were like, please let her be the bad guy. And she's just like, I'm his personal physician. And you're
I think that has to be a lie. I don't know, but it's so weird.
Is that what she said? She's personal physician?
That is what she said, word for word. Yeah. When they come in, and so
it doesn't make any sense because he doesn't need a physician.
He doesn't need it. Unless Unless that's like innuendo, you know what I'm saying? She's my personal physician.
And she talks in a British accent, and at times Teddy and Whoopi like glam on her and like
Yeah.
make fun of her accent for
Yeah.
no knowable reason. It's one of the few times that Whoopi's character does like a bit like that. And it's
Well,
super
in the
weird.
future, Dan,
Yeah.
we all speak American, okay? So British people, they better shape up or something. Here's what I will say in the movie's defense. Yes, they do misuse her, but they also misuse every other person in the cast. So it's not like they're singling her out, you know?
No,
so
no,
that's something.
They're not punishing her specifically for being in this movie.
No. They're just really bad at making a movie.
So then we see this tank, and he explains that he's got this flash freezing thing because he's extracted. These are called ice fish, and he can go click a button, and then they freeze, and then unclick a button, and they're still swimming around. They don't, slow down at all.
The freezing technology is very confusing in this movie.
Yeah.
And even worse at the end. But I'm going to save that till the very end when he saves Molly.
Now, Tony, talk to me about fish and freezing. Is it only one kind of fish that can be frozen?
Can any fish be frozen?
They all freeze.
But I'm saying, wait, what are you saying? Are you saying in real life?
Yeah. Where do you come from?
I come from Minnesota.
And what do they have in Minnesota?
We have a lot of ice fishing. No, you're not pulling out frozen fish, Dan.
But those fish don't.
The fish are fine.
Don't the fish freeze in the ice?
No, the ice is on top. The ice. I mean, you can't even go on it unless there's at least like 8 inches of ice. 8 inches. That's not the right word. But there's so much. There's just ice is on the top. It's flowing water on the bottom. That's why if you fall through, you're fucking dead. Because generally, you'll go to a place where the ice is not a hole, and then you're done for.
I thought there were fish that survived freezing.
There might be, Dan,
some.
but I'm just saying, frozen lakes in Minnesota only frozen on the top. It doesn't freeze all the way through. Otherwise, fishing would be very hard. You know what I'm saying? You'd have to. It's more just drilling. That would just be like drilling for fish, and then you're going to go right through them, and then you have a blood. It's a whole thing. But they die. Have I ever told you my ice fishing story?
No.
It's a great moment. Another one of the stories of why my dad hates me.
Maybe you did tell us this. I don't remember.
Well, I'm going to tell you again anyhow. We're ice fishing. I pulled out a fish, and then you literally just throw them on the ice. I mean, I don't know if everyone does that. They probably put them in coolers and stuff, but we just put them on ice and let them fucking die. And this fish is just like spasming and gasping for air. And I was young and not very bright. So I was like, oh, he's not getting enough oxygen, which is not how fish breathe. Just so everybody knows.
You tried to give him mouth to mouth?
I gave this fucking fish mouth to mouth. And my dad walks up as I'm doing it and just loses his mind on me. Which is fair because that's not how fish breathe. So like, if anything, I'm just killing the fish faster by forcing my CO2 down its breath. Anyhow.
Now, was this one of your first sexual encounters? Like
this is my first Frenching. Yeah, my first real tonguing. Yeah.
I love you.
I just want, for the record, I don't like fish, so I didn't touch it. I put it about an inch from my mouth and just blew into his mouth, thinking that would do anything. I was a fucking idiot.
Was?
Wow, Dan.
Okay, so then he just says, I can't help you. And so they're like, okay, we're leaving.
Yep.
And Whoopi's little friend is walking and he sees a video game and he walks over to the video game like, oh, video game. It's never been here before. And the video game reaches out and grabs him and sucks him in.
Which doesn't make any sense, right?
Nope, doesn't make any sense.
Was I okay? Yeah. So I didn't write anything down about it because I was so perplexed.
So then we go to the funeral for the dead dinosaur. We find out that when dinosaurs die, they then liquefy them and then they feed them. They give them the flowers and then they eat the flowers.
Which
very
is pretty
weird.
Fucked if you think about it. Like, it's very bizarre. Also, earlier we find out that when dinosaurs die, they immediately put on a funeral. Like, there's there was, because Whoopi's like, oh, I swear to God, she said your husband just died. But she's like, you just found out your husband died and you're already planning a funeral for him. And they're like, yeah, that's what we do. It's very fast. Why? What are these weird rules?
This movie never answers any of the whys. It just like makes proclamations and gives you information. And you're just kind of like,
so weird.
Okay, I guess.
But this is the other scene, Dan, that at least, I don't know if it's the same dinosaur or a different dinosaur, but someone is leering at Whoopi again in this scene at the funeral.
Oh, probably. It's probably the same dinosaur. When she was at the bar, this other weird dinosaur hits on her and she laughs at him and isn't bothered by it, which was really weird.
Oh, when she's like, oh, you thought that we were going to leave together or something like that. Yeah, I don't know.
The big teeth one, which was
so cool. Weird. So bizarre.
So Kane gives a speech and says, we're going to catch the guy. And then we start the big dino drum party for like 45 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah. Real fun stuff, guys.
Molly shows up and she's like, can you walk me home? And so he has to ask Coltrane if he can walk her home, and she says no, but yes you can, but make sure and get a breath mint.
Yeah, because I mean Molly shows up thirsty AF, and if you think that this is her husband that's dead, it's very jarring. But if it's just her roommate, it's fine. I don't know. I was confused.
So then there's like this big dinosaur when they're leaving, and he turns to Theodore, who we call Teddy. And the reason why this movie's called Theodore Rex is because if they called it Teddy Rex, then only children would go see it. But if they call it Theodore Rex, then no one will go see it. And he says to Teddy, give up your dream. And he turns away. It's a character we've never seen before. Has no connection to him, tells him to give up his dream. Is his dream to be a detective?
It must be.
I mean, it is, but
I don't know, man. It's all weird. Also, he's not doing like a bad job. He's just doing the job, it seems to me. I don't know.
So the bad guys have the kid. The kid like gets loose. The long-haired guy, he runs up there. The kid bites him, and he goes, ah! And we on his face when he's screaming, and then we zoom into his mouth.
Yeah,
I love that.
Why? And I'm not
because it was just so arbitrary.
Yes,
in a movie of random arbitrary things, when something is different, you're like, okay, this is even more weird.
Way to step up your game, guys. I don't know.
So at his house, he's with Molly. He meets Zippy the dog. Zippy initially hates Molly, and then he's indifferent to Molly. They do a weird dance.
Which doesn't,
Their tails hit stuff.
Yep. I don't know.
So Whoopi comes back, picks him up. They go back to police headquarters. What's his name? Some old TV star tells them that it's this butterfly, and the guy that makes the butterfly is a guy called the Toy Maker.
We
go to the Toy Maker warehouse, and then we start doing Teddy farting jokes. Teddy starts farting.
And it just, I mean, did I write down, because he had some funny lines about it. Something about a trumpet. You remember that?
No, I didn't write down any of the farting jokes.
All right, well, I'll look for them.
They're just so weird. It's
here we go. There's the second one. I didn't pump gas. That was one of his jokes.
I mean, if he was actually farting through the whole thing, making these jokes, I'd be like, oh, he's gases, and then we deal with that at some point, or that gets them out of something. It's just like, we just introduced this for no reason.
Just randomly, and then it goes away again in a little bit. The first one is, I didn't butt trumpet. That was his first joke. Very strange. Very, very strange.
So they go in there and they walk through this random warehouse, and then they get to this desk, and there's like a bell on it. And this is where the mad bomber lives. They're like, ring the bell. And there's like this suitcase, like the ones that fold open at the top. And out pops this little guy. And he's like this little puppet. And they're like, who are you? And he's like, I'm the guy from the bag.
I'm the guy from the bag. So first of all, that's my favorite line in the movie, and I wrote that down.
My favorite character.
So funny. And I was like, I wish you guys were that smart the whole time. Who are you? I'm the guy from the bag, as he's in the bag. That's funny. What is he, Dan?
He's the guy from the back.
I,
You walked right into that one, Tony.
you're right. You're right. I did. I don't.
He's
Him
the guy.
and the furry thing that
Then
comes right after. What are they? In this movie, there doesn't seem to be like a ton of creatures. You know what I mean? Like they're kind of it. So I was very confused on what was happening
So
here.
he goes back in the bag, and someone sticks their hand in the bag, and then they bite her, and then I think he says, "Don't be going in the bag."
So hold on. You're absolutely right. That's the second part. But the first part was he invites her into the bag. She was like, I'm going to come in there because she's like threatening him for information. She's like, I'm going to come in here. He's like, come into my bag, see what happens. And then he ducks down and then she goes into the bag and he's like, don't come in my bag. Doesn't
But
make any
he
sense.
bites her too. He bites her.
Yeah, he bit her. He bit her. And then it's like, don't come in bag. Doesn't make any sense.
Then this weird caterpillar shows up, and that's
Yep.
Fuzzy the hairy hot dog. And then that turns into a butterfly, and then they follow the butterfly.
This is the craziest part of this movie. It doesn't make any sense.
And then while this is happening, Molly gets kidnapped from the bath because she's having a
Of
bath.
course.
Whatever.
And it's
Yeah.
So
So
there's like 8 guys in the room with her in the bath, and then the creeping like leader of the people like is somehow behind her in the. It doesn't. How did they get in there while she's in the bath? It doesn't make any sense.
know. So he's farting. They take the elevator up. He's farting in the elevator, and then he's like, "I'll play the tough guy." So we're like, "Okay, now we're gonna do good cop, bad cop." They
But
get
really,
in there.
what happens?
He starts doing the. Okay, we walk in there. There's a Asian kind of samurai guy or ninja guy, and then he starts doing Schwarzenegger and Jack Nicholson for no known reason.
Yep. I don't get it.
So
I don't get the jokes.
the bad guy's the toy maker, so he goes hee 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 hee. Then he ducks down behind the thing, and there's this little bug that's like doot, 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 doot. What do they do to thwart the bug, Tony?
Which I don't remember. What does the bug do?
Well, the bug's gonna blow up, so it's
Is
a
the
bomb.
bug? So that's the one that was beeping.
Yeah.
Increasingly,
Yeah.
like exactly how a bomb acts.
Yeah, and what do?
And they start slowly walking backwards, and then they
Creeping
walk to the
backwards.
left,
Start
and then they
creeping
walk to the
backwards.
right, and then they walk to the left. And she says this. She's like, "Go to the left, now to the right, now to the left." What are you talking? It's a bomb. Everybody knows what bombs do. They go beep, 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 beep. It's a bomb. If you ever hear that, it's a fucking bomb. Get out of the building.
You run
Dumbest
and
cops
dive.
ever.
You run
So
and dive.
stupid.
So they back slowly up, and then it blows everything up. And then the guy in the back comes out, and he's like, "I'm not cleaning this up."
He's the best character of the movie.
So they captured the toy maker because everybody survived and everyone was fine, and they're blowing up meant
Yep.
nothing.
Doesn't mean anything.
Then they torture him with bad breath. They torture him with farting, and then they say they're going to eat him. And then he's like, they've got hostages, but they've got them. Yes.
So here's the thing, Dan.
Oh God.
So let's talk
hold
about
on.
the torture scene. Oh,
But
sorry, what?
Before you're going to be able to go do that, you got to have to go see the Zap Heads because we have to have one more Zap Heads fucking scene. This movie's
'Cause
only
you
an
love-
hour and a
you love
half
them.
long.
There's no way that's right. Is that right?
Hour and 31 minutes.
I felt like this movie was longer than Avatar.
This was one of the
I'm gonna
hardest.
say it right now.
I will say this is a positive about Avatar. I got through Avatar pretty easily. You know.
yeah.
You know. I mean, I'm not
Other
saying
than it's shitty.
I'm not saying it's enjoyable. I'm not saying it adds up. I'm not saying any of those things. But it, you know, the music is fine. It looks fine. You know,
It looks good.
Looks
it
great,
looks better than fine.
yeah,
it looks better. than
Looks
fine.
fucking great. Except the design of the blue guys, like it's always kind of weird, kind of bugging.
Yeah.
But everything
fair.
else, you know, all the machines and all that stuff, it's like
Yeah, the world itself is beautiful.
Cameron knows how to build a fucking visual. That's for fucking
Yeah,
sure.
if only someone would write his movies for him, you know? Ah, shoot. So
Can't do that. I'm everything. I'm playing all the parts too while I'm at it. This movie is a murky blurky, terrible thing, other than the guy in the bag who was made by the Chiodo brothers, by the way. That's why he looks good and weird.
Okay.
Even though he
but
does
they
look.
didn't do the other things?
I'm not sure what they did, but one of the things I watched about this said that the Chiodo brothers did Men in the Bag.
Specifically did that guy.
Yeah.
I'm the guy from the bag.
I mean, the dinosaurs I thought all looked fine, and robots were fine. And Teddy,
I'm not mad. Again, I'm not mad at any other than everything else.
Yeah.
So I got to talk about the torture scene. I don't care what you say. So first, his move is breath.
Mm-hmm.
Then his move is farting on the guy.
Yeah.
On the guy, by the way. He's sitting on him farting. It's not like I'm farting at you or around you. I am on. You are feeling the vibrations on your stomach. Very strange. But then it escalates to he's like, fuck it, I'm going to eat the guy. And Whoopi is like, no, you can't eat the guy. And I'm like, obviously you can't eat the guy because then he won't give you any information. But the guy is like, please don't eat me. I'll tell you everything. No, that's not what would happen. The guy, he knows he needs to be alive. Or cyanide pills. Is that what you're doing?
No, you eat one of the fingers.
I thought you were doing it. I thought he's biting down on his tooth. Poison. He's dead. Just poorly written. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, so we go. So they're going to do the thing, but her BioWare is broken, so they can't call for backup.
Yeah, and she says, I think the explosion blew out my electronics. That's not how explosions work, is it, Dan?
I don't know. But they're at the zap heads, and then somehow Teddy swings in on a chain or a rope and knocks them all over.
After 3 full minutes of Whoopi constantly just being like, you thought I'd come here alone? I would not come here alone, guys. Here he comes. Just wait. And she just keeps vamping forever. And he finally swings in. I was like, thank God. This took forever, guys. Terrible plan.
So, Tony, what vehicle do they take to attack New Eden?
Listen, I don't know where they got a helicopter thingy, but they show up randomly in some sort of like, it's almost like a bicycle helicopter. And she's riding behind the Zaphead guy, right?
I think the two of them are next to each other, I think.
Oh, they're next to each other. I thought she was like almost wrapped around him, but you're right. I'm sure you're right.
Maybe she is. I don't remember.
And then Teddy's hanging on chains underneath?
Hanging on cords, on cables. Yeah.
What is happening? What's happening? Where did they even get this thing?
More importantly, a helicopter. We all know helicopters, they roll on wheels and then they launch. It's like, I guess they launched and then they hovered down and then,
then he hooked himself up, tied himself in.
Operation Dumbo Drop. Do you remember that movie?
It's so weird. Yeah. And also they did a Netflix holiday romance film with a similar idea. And it was like something drop, holiday, Christmas drop. I don't fucking, you know what? Let's rewind that. Cut that out.
So they attack by helicopter. They crash in through the window.
They crash for like 5 minutes again for so long. I can't believe this movie's only 90 minutes because they really milk some of these things. But Teddy's like moving, and then Whoopi's like, "Stop moving, and then Teddy moves, "Stop moving, hey, stop moving," and they just do this bit for like 3 minutes, and then they finally crash through a window. Yeah, it's exhausting.
So Whoopi's character comes out from the crash. She gets captured, but then she immediately escapes and runs away. Doesn't even pay any attention to what's happening to Teddy. Teddy wakes up, tries to arrest Kane. Kane's like, it is too late. And the Ice Age rocket goes up, and he opens the big door. But
before that, he gives his speech, doesn't he?
I don't know. I don't write
I'm pretty sure
down.
This is the part where he gives his evil monologue.
Probably.
Which literally just recaps the title cards at the beginning. And I was like, why are we doing this twice in the movie, guys? It's not smart enough to even do once, and we're doing it twice.
So Whoopi... Okay, Molly, so opens the big doors. We see all the frozen animals. Molly's also frozen. Whoopi has a gun battle, then a hand-to-hand battle. And then who does Teddy have to take out? He has to take out Victoria Landau, a 90-pound woman.
Yeah. And he's a giant
No,
dinosaur.
more importantly, she's like barking orders at him. Like he has to do what she says, and he's a
Correct.
dinosaur, and she's like just the thinnest of women.
That's the thinnest of women.
There's a tiny keypad on a wall that they have to get through. He tries to punch it, then he turns around, it just gets smacked by his tail, and then it opens.
Hold on, that's when he saves Molly, right?
Yeah, after the keypad opens, I think.
Yeah, so hold on. Dan, this blew my mind, okay? I rewound this a couple times so I could get the timing of it right.
Okay.
So she's frozen in the wall, yeah?
Okay, yeah.
She's in a freeze chamber, she's frozen.
This is the end of the movie, so I stopped paying attention completely.
This is the end of the movie, and you skipped over a bunch of stuff just to get here, but this is something I need to talk about anyhow, so it's fine. He pushes buttons, and it's like, bang, wrong. He gets it wrong, right? Pushes buttons, gets it wrong. So he's about to give up and leave.
Turns.
She's already moving. She's in this room. She's moving before he breaks the keypad with his tail. And I was like, wait, what is happening? Is she frozen or is she just held in captivity? I don't know.
Maybe she's in the freezing process, Tony.
She's mid-freeze.
Mid-freeze. Let's see. So Katie returns. Oh, she saved the little kid. Everyone hugs. The hair guy, the bad guy, shoots Coltrane. And then Teddy fakes getting shot for some reason.
Did he really fake it?
Yeah,
because he kept faking it later then.
I don't know.
He really committed to the bit then. That good for him.
So he's like to Coltrane, give me your gun. And she's like, I can't. You need to use your brain.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about the message of this film. But first of all, so she is immobile.
Yeah,
for the most part.
She gets zapped because she gets shot into an electrical panel, and because she's a robot, she like sits down on the ground.
Except for she can still talk and move her head.
Why not?
Why not? Because she can't move anything, Dan. She says, I'm immobile. But she's moving and talking.
Mobile.
I'm immobile. I can't move anymore. Look.
Yeah, mobile.
Terrible.
Legs is mobile.
Legs. She wasn't moving her chest, arms, nothing.
A mobility scooter doesn't make you talk. Does it?
Doesn't make you talk. Yeah, I wish that it didn't make you talk. That would be good.
So she calls him partner. So he's like, oh, he feels good. And I wrote that down. He feels good. So his big plan is he gets some rope and a steel bar. He bends the steel bar. Then they're like driving away. He spears the bad guy. And then he's like, hand over the remote. Does he know that this guy has a remote to stop this thing?
I wouldn't think so because that's not how we started it. You know what I mean? Like
why would he have a remote?
Doesn't make any sense.
Why
he did it manually?
You launched the rocket. Why? You don't need to put an explosive in there. It's your rocket. No. You build your rocket however you want. If I'm building my rocket, like you sneeze on it, it goes off.
Yeah, there you go. I like it because then it's dangerous, right?
Yeah.
Ooh. Now this guy's got a failsafe just in case.
So he hands over the thing, and the dude probably pushes the button, and it's over.
Right. All good. This is what I wanted to talk about with the Whoopi thing.
Yeah.
So she's like, I can't give you my gun.
Yeah.
You were right. Violence is wrong. That's basic. She didn't say those exact words. She said, you were right. She said, you were right. You need to use your brain. First of all, the guy's dumb. So he's not going to get this done because he's an idiot. But basically what she's saying is that police work, it should be done with her brains and not weapons.
It should be.
That's what she's saying. That's a big statement from a real shitty movie. I just want to throw that out there. I was taken aback by the stance that this movie has the audacity to take. It's incredible.
Listen to big word Tony, audacity. All right. So then they have a big ceremony. They make him a detective. And
again, I don't understand. I wouldn't have done it.
He smacks the commissioner with his tail, and they're like, congrats, if you need me, you know where to find me. Which doesn't make any sense because he's a detective now.
Sequel.
You don't need to find him. He's going to come back into work tomorrow.
Well, They don't need to find him, but we do, Dan.
Yeah.
I think we need a Theodore Rex 2, all done in CGI, just like the Ninja Turtles update.
Yep.
And just really make it look ugly.
So, Whoopi, and Whoopi was the worst part of this movie. She was not
By far.
funny at all.
Yeah.
Her character just said no. She had a sour look on her face in many scenes, and she just didn't want to be there, and she was making $7 million.
I would do almost anything for $7 million. It's a small list of things I wouldn't do for $7 million.
I'd replace you on this show for $7 million.
Dan, you would do that for free if somebody offered. If anybody out there was like, I'll do the show with you instead, you would be like, Tony, you're out. I don't need you. I got a new partner.
No, Tony, you're out, but you're still producing the show.
I still have to be here, and I got to edit it. In fact, I'll probably double down on the editing since I don't have to do the other parts. It sounds like a terrible job.
Free you up to make my show better.
We're using too much of your time with the nonsense of the show part. You really need to focus.
I'm the talent here. Hey,
no one's questioning that, all right, Dan?
But I'll admit you were funny tonight, Tony, so I'm proud of you.
That's because I didn't understand the movie.
I think all these years of working with me at the feet of the master, you've begun to come into your own.
I'm finally picking up on some things. I will say, and I mean this genuinely, Dan, I feel like an idiot today. When a children's movie goes so far over your head, you start to feel a little self-conscious.
It's not a children's movie. It is very confusing and weird, but I am a master storyteller myself. So I look for those Dan Goodsell lines that tell us what's going on, that what it means.
I'm sure they're there. I just missed all of them.
I'm going to tell you something else. There is a novelization of this movie, and it does lay out more about the.
You're kidding me, Dan. Can I find this? I will buy the shit out of it. I'm going to tell you right now, and no one steal this idea. I am going to write a sequel to this film. Theodore Rex 2. I'm the other cop. It's going to be good.
Is it going to be called Rex and Effects?
It might be now. Can I use it?
Sure.
All right. And we're going to talk about dino-rections for sure. There will be a dinocologist. There's going to be a lot of great stuff, guys. A lot of dino puns coming at you.
Oh, wait a second.
Okay. See, the juices are flowing. I'm liking this.
I mean, if you want to write this movie, I'll help you write this movie.
Dan, I want to write this movie. I was joking like 50% at first, and now I'm 0% joking. I want to write a sequel to this movie.
And they have he and Molly are married, and they have like a smart ass kid.
This is what I'm talking about. This is good. Yes, sir. You're hired. You're on board. Bringing you on. Welcome to the team.
Okay. Theodore Rex 2. I'm in. Theodore Rex 2.5.
2.5.
Because he's got a kid.
Why not? Yeah. It's good. That's good.
2.5.
Oh.
The Dino age. Dino-rection. I
think people are going to like Dino. Is
it going to be like a sex comedy? Is it going to be about his kid?
It's going to be a little bit racier, yeah, for sure. Because this movie was missing a lot of good opportunities, I feel.
Lots of bestiality, but with dinosaurs, so it's okay.
Listen, that dinosaur wants Whoopi's ass. I don't know. I'm just telling you, that guy wanted her bad.
Okay. Now's the point of the show where we talk about something we liked this week. Disney had Disney Day, and Disney Plus had Disney Day, and they dropped Thor, Love and Thunder. Watch the movie. Has one of the things that's the funniest thing in any of the Marvel movies ever. And
wow, I
love the ending. The ending was great.
Okay.
And there's some emotional stuff in it that they don't play up too much, but it's super interesting. And Taika, a lot of the other Disney people, I don't think could have dealt with it as well as he did.
Sure. The movie's very polarizing, so that's good to hear that you enjoyed it.
It's not great or anything. It's not like, I'm going to keep going back and watching this one.
Sure.
But it's a really interesting approach to the ending, and like I said, there's one funny part that I was dying. I was like, this is so good. Oh, it's hilarious.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, it's on the list of things that we're going to watch, so it'll happen at some point.
What do you got for us, Tony?
Oh, well, unfortunately, we're just really sucking that Disney teat today because mine is also a Disney thing. I don't like, in general, I like Disney's not my favorite, you know?
Sure.
Corporations. Yeah, you get it. By the way, I'm sorry I didn't wish you a happy Disney Plus day. I forgot the holiday, so my apologies to you, Dan. Mine is a video game.
Oh, Jesus.
It's called Disney Dreamlight Valley. Just released this week. It's sort of like Animal Crossing. It's great, man.
Is it like a soap opera? Is it like Starlight Valley or whatever that one is?
No, okay. Stardew Valley.
Stardew Valley. Maybe. Yeah.
It's a little Stardew Valley, a little Animal Crossing. Basically, it's a farming sim where you also get to like meet the inhabitants of the town, Disney characters. You do tasks for them, you farm, it's a good time. It's great. I really like it. It's cute, it's fun. It's like a little glitchy, but it's fine. I'm really enjoying my time. Put like 12 hours into it this week. So.
Oh wow, they're coming out with a Disney like a Magic the Gathering card game.
I saw that too. Yeah, that was released, or that was announced at D23, I think, right?
I saw some pictures, some of the cards, really good looking.
Yeah, I'm into it. I wish that, I hope that they do like a digital version of it, like the MTG Arena, because then I will for sure play it.
I mean, how couldn't they? So next,
how couldn't they?
Sure. I mean, Magic has made so much money over digital. It's like,
yeah, you're right about that.
Not even funny. I mean, they still make a lot of money with paper, but they make a lot of money with that digital. So we're going to do one of those movies that we knew we were going to do. We're doing Jurassic World Dominion.
Dominion. Good. Okay, good.
Because it's free somewhere, right?
Yeah, it's. I believe it's on the Peacocks right now.
But
pretty sure.
Do you have to have Peacock Plus? No.
If you don't want commercials.
Oh, well, whatever. I don't care about commercials.
Yeah, if you can't watch it, I'll give you my login and you can just watch it.
Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, so we're doing this. It's supposed to be terrible. There's supposed to be some terrible things in it, so it's gonna be fun.
I think I'm gonna rewatch a bunch of them to get ready for this. Because it's the old cast is back too, so I might have to watch the original trilogy and the new trilogy.
Oh, so there's 3 of these Jurassic Worlds.
This is the third, yeah, because there's Jurassic World, which I enjoyed. We'll talk more about this next week.
You enjoyed
quite a bit.
World. Oh, okay.
The second one is one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life, and so I'm excited for the third one.
Excited to see where they go. Can they go down, or is it
think
lateral or up?
From what I've heard, it goes down. So I'm excited.
I'm excited.
I'm very excited about this.
I expect this to be terrible. Like terrible.
I think I'm going to enjoy it. Let's find out.
So that's been the show. If you like what you see, leave us a comment, leave us a thumbs up, or subscribe. All 3 things you can do that'll make your life.
Or forget about Dan Goodsale's channel. Come subscribe to my channel where it's unrelated to all this.
What's your channel called, Tony?
I think it's just Tony Zek, right?
Tony Check.
Pretty sure.
Check.
Tony Check.
CZECH.
Wow, good job, Dan. Nobody remembers how to spell that.
Tony Czech Republic.
You laugh, but that's how I have to tell people how to spell it when they're like, ZC? It's like, no, it's like Czech Republic. And they're like, oh, okay, I get it.
They got it. So, Theodore Rex. Theodore Rex.
Theodore. Oh, boy, we're going to use that in the sequel. Theodore.
Theodore Rex. And, maybe we'll see you next week, and maybe you can watch all our other old videos, too.
All 110 by next week. We'll see you there. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Hey, watch it!